Welcome back everybody to Keenan K TV. In this video, I want to talk about a fantasy matchup that I have currently in my head between Israel Adesanya and Johnny Bones Jones. In this episode, I will talk about why Jon Jones could defeat Israel. I will make another video where I talk about Israel defeating Jon Jones, and then at the end, I will make a final, the ultimate breakdown episode to conclude it all. Before continuing, I want to plug my Discord really quickly. It's an app where my viewers can all come together and talk about the fight game. We have weekly fight reaction voice calls. On the app, I also upload all of my fighter cards, and I also have another text channel where I keep my personal playlist and all the songs that I use in my videos for. So with that being said, let's jump right into the video. Johnny Bones Jones, 205-pound, light heavyweight, UFC world champion. After defeating Anthony Smith, the only question that is really left for him is who is next. When will we see somebody put up a great test against Jon Jones in a division where all the top contenders have pretty much already have been beaten by Jon Jones? The only new contenders for the title are guys who maybe just start to have some steam behind them and are immediately up against Jon Jones already, which is not really the most efficient and the most fun thing to have. You know, you don't want to have a fighter who isn't really yet ready to fight for a title. We saw that, for example, with Volkan Ozdemir, and it was clearly evident with Anthony Smith. Now, one person that was always striking a certain conversation with Jon Jones was Israel Adesanya. Whether it be his looks or the similarities that people draw from his style with Jon Jones' style, somehow, some way, their names were both tied to one another. For me, that only meant one thing. In the end, their paths have to cross. Israel Adesanya is about 28 years old, and seemingly he can make the 185 division for his entire career. He has the perfect frame for it, he has the perfect physique, body for it, and I don't think he will ever really grow out of that 185-pound division. And the same can be said for Jon Jones. Jon Jones, looking at him at the age of 31 years old, making the weight without a problem, I think that Jon Jones will probably end his career at light heavyweight if he wanted to. So logically speaking, this fight is probably not going to happen if they both continue on doing what they are already doing. Because from the looks of it right now, seemingly there is just no way that these fighters are going to fight each other. If this fight is going to happen, it has to be most likely Israel Adesanya going in there fighting Jon Jones. He has to move up to fight Jon Jones, and Jon Jones, I highly doubt that that man could make 185. And why would he? He is the A-side in this match. He is one of the longest reigning champions in the UFC, the greatest light heavyweight champion of all time. I highly doubt that that man would move down for just a quick and fun fight against Adesanya. Looking at this fight from a striking point of view, we have to understand that Israel Adesanya is fighting somebody who is bigger than him. They're about both 6'4", and Jon Jones has a 4-inch reach advantage. Add on top the weight, without a question, Jon is just bigger in this matchup. When it comes to the striking department, we know Adesanya wants to be on the outside. He likes to be the fighter who can pick you apart at the end of his reach, at the end of his jab, uses kicks to keep you at that distance, body kick, question mark kicks, whatever it may be, just pick you apart and just frustrate you over and over again to a point where you just give in and make a huge mistake that he capitalizes with. Against Jon Jones, when it comes to the striking department, I highly doubt that Israel Adesanya will be able to dictate where the fight is taking place at. I don't think that he will be able to take the outside against Jon Jones. I don't think that he can be picking Jon Jones apart on the outside with having the shorter reach. Jon has always been tremendous with keeping the distance, whether it be by using his oblique kicks, spinning back kicks to the body, body kicks, head kicks. Nowadays he has improved on his boxing, so his jabs are always going to be coming into play now. And with the size, I believe that Jon Jones will be able to walk him down and keep Israel Adesanya's back against the cage, or if he wants to, he can have Israel Adesanya walk him down, chase him, and just walk into big shots, quote unquote. because the times that Israel Adesanya took the most hits and the most blows were the times when he himself was coming forward and was leading in with a certain attack that he got countered with. Now against Kelvin Gastelum, who was a pretty short guy and was able to duck down under Israel Adesanya's reach, under his jab, and then come in with his own jab, that is a different dynamic and that is a different measuring stick, so I don't really want to point too much to that fight. In this matchup, when the fight does happen to come into a closer range, into the pocket if you want to call it, Jon Jones without a question is going to completely win in that situation. When it comes to Adesanya, his go-to move when it comes to close range exchanges, clinches if you want to call it, is the knee. And that's about it, right? And when it comes to Jon Jones, he has so many more tools, whether it be using his wrestling in the clinch, whether it be exiting out with an elbow, whether it be him kneeing Adesanya. They're pretty much matched in terms of just Muay Thai, but the thing that separates them is the wrestling experience and the wrestling ability of Jon Jones. So in the pocket, in the clinch, I would have to favor Jon Jones taking that position and dominating Israel Adesanya from there. And from there, he can take him down. Because Jon Jones, being the light heavyweight that he has been, and also being older nowadays, he has packed on a lot more strength, a lot more old man muscle, if you want to call it, just old man strength. He has become a lot more stronger than he used to be, and he will definitely out-wrestle, out-grapple him, and there's no question in my mind that he cannot take down Israel Adesanya because Kelvin Gastelum was able to take him down, for example. And Jon Jones is a very underrated wrestler in the light heavyweight division. He was able to take down Daniel Cormier, he was able to defend against Daniel Cormier, he was able to take down Chael Sonnen, for example. He was able to deal well against Ryan Bader, Rashad Evans. So these guys who have already way more of a wrestling background, of a grappling background, and are more talented in grappling than Israel Adesanya, couldn't really deal with Jon Jones all that much. So when it comes to Israel doing anything against Jon Jones, I highly doubt that. So Jon Jones will definitely be able to take him down and probably keep him down if he can get the fight done. Now looking at this fight, if it happens to be going to the mat, we have to understand what type of an animal Jon Jones is. He was able to finish Vitor Belfort, he was able to finish Rampage Jackson, he was able to finish Chael Sonnen, he was able to finish Alexander Gustafsson, he was able to finish Lyoto Machida in the clinch. So this man is a definite finisher. Jon Jones was never the type of guy to finish his opponents by strikes most of the time, right? He was never the biggest of one-hitter quitters. He was more of a smart technical fighter who would accumulate damage, and if the opportunity to finish you presented itself, he would take that chance. But a certain finish, and a finish that would always be guaranteed if the fight would end up going in that manner, would have always been him finishing you in the grappling department. And I don't believe Adesanya's grappling defense has come to a point where he can successfully defend himself against somebody of Jon Jones' caliber off of his back. He has shown that he could defend incoming takedowns. He has shown that he can handle people who are pinning him against the cage. Yes, he has shown that, but nobody was really of the caliber of Jon Jones. And I believe if Jon Jones wanted to, he could make this fight a really slow, methodical fight where he's pinning Israel against the cage, making him work, taking him down, and just really wasting his stamina in that manner. And stamina is something that I am questioning when it comes to this fight for Adesanya. I'm not really questioning that he cannot go 5 rounds. I believe that he can go 5 rounds as he did against Kelvin Gastelum. But he went 5 rounds against guys who were pretty linear, who had one way of fighting. When it comes to Kelvin Gastelum, he tried to duck under the jab, come on the inside, shoot in his left hand. When it comes to Anderson Silva, Anderson, that was a pretty low output fight. When it comes to Wilkinson, he was only trying to take him down. When it comes to Derek Brunson, he was only trying to take him down. So in that aspect of only fighting guys who are fighting in one certain way, I would have to believe that having somebody like Jon Jones, who is not only bigger than you, but also more versatile than you and more experienced than you, I wonder how many tools, how many traits that Jon Jones can show to Israel Adesanya that will make him work extra hard. Because Jon Jones can fight on the inside, he can fight on the outside. When it comes to Israel Adesanya, he's preferably on the outside. And against Jon Jones, I don't really think that he will be able to dictate wherever the fight goes. And especially when he's getting taken down. When he gets taken down, I don't really know how much of his stamina will be impacted. I'm guessing it will have to be a lot because Jon Jones is a very active fighter, even on the ground. If he's not trying to look for a TKO, he's trying to submit you. So I think that Israel Adesanya won't be having much room to breathe when the fight goes to the floor. And in the end, I believe that Jon Jones is a bit too experienced, a bit too versatile, and pretty much has just seen a lot more than Israel Adesanya inside the UFC's octagon than Israel Adesanya. So in the end, I would have to favor Jon Jones of beating Israel Adesanya. Obviously, this is MMA and fighters still have a chance of beating their opponent regardless of who it is. So in the end, only time will tell. Well, for now, this has been why Jon Jones defeats Israel, the last stylebender Adesanya. I will make another video where I go over Israel beating Jon Jones, so be sure to subscribe to stay notified. So with that being said, I have been Keenan from Keenan KTV, signing off. Later.